Hello and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So the merge countdowns have gone to 0. What happened with the price? Not much. Okay, so again, it's always I in the past few days and weeks I got these questions, what's going to happen with during the merge, after the merge. I did expect some volatility. Now we didn't even see volatility really. Okay, but yeah, as I said, you can't base your trades on the merge, because you don't know what's going to happen. These news events, you just don't know. So it is best just to remain focused on the technicals. It's the same with the CPI data. You never know what is already priced in, what's not priced in. What we can use is the rules of market structure, which the Elliott Waves represent, and come to some conclusions around the next most likely price movements, and come to different possibilities, because there is usually a bullish and a bearish scenario, and then understand what the certain conditions are that need to be fulfilled for a certain movement to take place. And when these conditions are fulfilled, then we can make calls about price targets, and that's what we can do. We can't say when a move is going to happen. This is very, very hardly possible, and there is also no certainty. So can I promise you that a certain scenario is going to take place? No. But if you have different scenarios, you can come to a conclusion what is a risky trade, what is a less risky trade, for example. And that is what the Elliott Waves do and help you with. They allow you to calculate the levels, or to understand from which levels do you calculate risk. Because if I, for example, have here a low of a wave A, when we talked about the different scenarios before, so don't necessarily go through the entire chart in every video, but let's say we have our wave A down, then you calculate your retracement, your possible retracement from that low, and then you come to a conclusion about the most likely price area in which the price will go into, which was this one. And as expected, we saw a reaction from this range. Does this mean this move to the upside is already over? No, I can't promise you that either, but we have seen a reaction to this reversal area, because it is just, the price normally retraces into different zones with a high likelihood. You can really only, in my opinion, you can really only use the fibs accurately if you can use the Elliott Waves, if you have an understanding, or at least a broad understanding of which wave we're in, because different waves have different retracement and extension targets. So that is why I think the Fibonacci tool is one of the best tools that you can use, and I use the Elliott Waves to help me to understand from which price, low or high, I need to measure, so I get a good understanding of what the most likely next target is in a given scenario. I'm not telling you one of these scenarios is definitely going to happen. What we're doing is to understand the different scenarios, and then then we can make calls about, okay, this one might be a bit more likely or not. But in the end, no, there is no certainty. You need to understand that. But the Elliott Waves also give you a good understanding of possible price movements and what the market is capable of. Because it would be ridiculous to say the market is now going to go up to 3,000 from here without certain retracements in between. So what we need to understand now is that first of all, we haven't really moved since the last video. We have not made a new high and not a new low, so we're basically still in this range here. It could very well be that the wave 4 was over here. That is what we talked about in the last video. That is a potential. Wave 4 was over here, and we're waiting for one more leg down. That could have been the first wave and the second wave of that wave 5. But again, we're coming to micro counting here. And if this was the first wave and the second wave, there's still a good chance that we're holding the $1,500 level. What are the conditions now that need to be fulfilled? Well, first of all, if we see 5 waves down, that would be a good signal. We haven't seen them yet. We have only seen 3 waves here so far, and the 4th one. But this, we really only know if a wave 4 has peaked when we know that we are in a wave 5. So only then, you only know afterwards, but that can give you a good understanding of the next likely move. So for example, if we get 5 waves down, we know this is actually quite bearish, because it is an impulse to the downside, and most likely then the white count would play out. And you know that when you have 5 waves complete, I mean, you never know when the 5th wave is complete until it reverses, but you get a warning and you get a clue that wave 5 might get to its exhaustion. Also, this move down will soon get to its exhaustion. So if we see 5 waves, okay, warning, we might reverse with a high likelihood then in a wave B to the upside. That will most likely retrace. Yeah, I mean, a wave B again is a very difficult one to predict, but we might be looking at the 50 to 61.8% FIB level. Let's say the wave 5 comes down to 1500, then we're looking at a retracement of 1615 to 1650 roughly. Okay, but we will know more as soon as we know how low the wave 5 goes. So there will be a wave B retracement with a high likelihood, and then a wave C down, and that should then fulfill my primary expectation, which would be here to get into the area between 1130 and 1330. That is also the area where I would accumulate and where the larger wave 2 correction of Ethereum finishes and should reverse into a wave 3 to the upside. That is how I look at it and what I would expect. Ideally, yeah, to confirm this move even better would be if when we go down in the wave 5, if we break the $1,500 level as well. Yeah, that would take out the previous swing low here. That would be good. Now, in the other possibility, and this is the possibility that in my opinion will play out with a high likelihood, if we break now above the 1653 level, above the wave 4 high, and then even clearer would be the signal if we go into the range of the wave 1, so above 1677. If that happens, then we have only seen 3 waves down, and that would be not such a bearish signal. It would then most likely mean that we will see a bit of a rally to the upside, and that rally could take us to, I would say, at least 1900, possibly all the way up to 2100. Yeah? But again, even after that, I would expect the move to come down into this region. So anybody who likes to avoid the uncertainty and the messy price action here could wait for that dip to play out. It will happen, in my opinion. Yeah, it must happen based on because it's based on the rules of market structure. So a wave 2 correction will always happen. What I can't tell you if it happens tomorrow, the day after, or whatever. So we just need a bit of patience. Patience usually wins. Of course, these movements can be traded, and if you have watched carefully, you will know that I would expect either a small move down and a wave up in a wave B, or a stronger wave up. So, of course, you could go long. That's entirely up to you. But bear in mind, if it's only this white wave B, there won't be a lot in it, and we could drop before we go up. But a key support level is the $1,500 level, absolutely key, and a key breakout point to the upside, at least the first indication that we are going up and that we're not going to see a wave 5 in yellow, will be a break above the 1653 level. So yeah, I guess a lot of people are a bit disappointed by the Ethereum merge day here. Yeah, I expected a lot of volatility. I also expected a little of some volatility, but that didn't come. Yeah, but again, I think oftentimes these events are overrated. I think a lot of people expected Ethereum to pump after the event, which usually doesn't happen. It can, but it usually doesn't happen. There's usually an element of, it's already priced in, and you actually see a dump after such an event if expectations were very high. But I think, to be honest, yes, there were a lot of expectations, but I think it didn't feel this time as hyped as it sometimes was in the past with similar events, yeah, where you had huge events and hype was everywhere, and it is one of the biggest events in crypto, yeah, absolutely. But I think due to the fact that we might be here still in a bear market, or at least in an area where not so many people are currently interested in crypto, you didn't really see that that crazy price movement that otherwise might have happened in a bull run or so. But that's not a problem, as you know, my attitude towards news is we rather focus on the technicals, right? Because the news do not allow you to, the news don't give you price targets. The news don't, they are unpredictable basically, yeah? And how do you want to trade based on news? It doesn't work. Okay, and therefore we continue to focus on the technical side of things. So hopefully you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.